Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be crocheting the small version of DoodleBob. I will be making another video for the bigger one soon. So let's get right into it. First, you're going to need a 5.5 hook, fabric glue, it doesn't matter the brand, okay? A pair of scissors. We're going to be needing black and white acrylic yarn. I'm using Premier in size 4, medium weight, okay? We're also going to be needing black and white felt fabric. So we're going to begin by making 2 squares, okay? We're going to start with the slip knot and we're going to chain 17. These are going to be our main 2 squares, the front and back, okay? So once you have your 17 chains, you're going to go ahead and single crochet 16 across. Okay, so we just made 1 row. We're going to make 20 more rows for a total of 21. So here I am at my final row. This is my 21st row. Obviously, you're going to have to pause your video to get to me, but I'm just showing you here what I do. I'm just simply going to cut a tail. I'm just going to pull that in, do my last single crochet, right? And then I'm going to cut a tail and then pull it right through. And that's it. You just made your first square. So now you're just going to make the same steps again to have your second square right here. So once you have both of your squares, you're just going to put them to the side because we're going to be making our left and right side pieces. You're only going to need 2 of these guys. The reason we're not making 4 is because they're going to be too long for the top and bottom. See, it's a little too long and it's just going to come out really wonky. So only make 2 of these, okay? You're going to start again with a slip knot and you're going to make 7 chains in total, okay? Once you have your 7 chains, you're going to go ahead and single crochet 6 across. Alright, so we just made our first row, and just like the first square, we're going to need 20 more rows for a total of 21. I will meet you back when I get there, okay? Okay, so I'm going to be showing you a little trick on how I can tell the front from the back sides, right? So you're going to pull your tail through, and you're going to do this to every piece that we have made, right? The tail is there to indicate which is your front side and which is your back side. The back side is also going to be known as the inside of the doodle plush. So we want to make sure all the tails and all the pieces are on the back side. And you're going to do that with all your pieces like I'm doing right now. You're just taking your tail and pulling it through. That's all. Alright, so now that we have our front and back, and we have our side pieces left and right, we're now going to need to make the top and the bottom pieces now. Okay, you're going to make 2 of these the exact same. You're going to start with the slip knot and you're going to chain 17, okay? Now we're going to make 16 single crochet all across. You just made 1 row and we're going to need 5 more for a total of 6. And then we're just going to cut the tail, and remember, you're going to make 2 of these. now that you have all the pieces, we're going to be putting away the white yarn for now, and we're going to be bringing in the black yarn to assemble all of our pieces together, okay? We're going to begin by grabbing our front piece and our side piece, and that's where we're going to start, okay? You're going to grab those, and with black yarn, we're actually going to single crochet along all these edges right here, okay? So to begin, you're going to insert your hook into the last stitch we made, right here. You're going to insert your hook, and you're going to do the same thing with the side piece, right? You're just going to grab it and insert your hook into another corner. And now once you have that, you're going to forget about the little tails for now. We're not going to worry about them. I know they can be annoying, but just don't worry about them right now. And now we're just going to take our yarn, our black yarn, and we're going to pull it through, okay? Once you pull it through, you're going to want to chain one. So we're just going to chain one for now. And now I just want you to single crochet along all the rest of the edges, okay? So you do that by pulling in and just single crocheting, just like that. It doesn't matter how many stitches you have in the end, because all that matters is that they're together. And you do that by inserting through one, inserting through the second piece, making sure the yarn goes through both, like that, see? And then you just yarn over and pull through. And you're just gonna do that all along, okay? So this is what you should have left. This is the front and side piece linked together, okay? So before we move along, I do want to show you how I like to hide my tails. So we're gonna come back up here, and I'm gonna show you how I like to get the tails on the inside, because they can be pretty annoying to deal with. So to do that, we're just going to insert our hook into any stitch, the stitch closest to that tail as much as possible. And then all I want you to do is to pull that tail right through like that and tighten it up a little bit. Now your tails should be on the inside of DoodleBob, see? Very easy. Now we can move on to the next step, okay? So we're going to do the same exact process as before. We're just putting our hook through a corner of the front piece and then the corner of that bottom piece, okay? So I know it's a little hard to see and a little hard to tell, but you just have to align them perfectly as much as you can. It doesn't even matter to get it that perfect anyways. But yeah, you're just gonna pull that yarn through again, and you're gonna single crochet. And now that you have that part done, you can begin single crocheting all along that rest of the edge, okay? That's done, we're going to also be pulling in the tails right through, okay? So again, we're just going to insert our hook into a random stitch as close to the tail as possible, and we're going to be closing them in so to make sure that they're on the inside. We're not going to single crochet this part just yet, the little slits, okay? We're going to first try to get all the main pieces onto the main structure, so don't worry about the little slits just yet. So once you have your final side piece attached, we're not going to attach the back yet because we have the little slits to worry about. Now we can finally close them up. It's the same exact process as before. First, we're going to make sure the tails are on the inside, and then you're just going to insert your hook into a corner and then the corner of the other slit, and you're just going to single crochet all the way down until you get to where you can't crochet anymore. so right here I can't continue to single crochet, but we have this little white showing. So I'm going to insert my hook into a random black stitch. It doesn't matter where. You're just gonna insert your hook to wherever you can put through, and then we're just going to pull the black yarn through, right? I don't know if you guys can see, but you can just pull it through, and then you're just going to single crochet into the other black edge, if that makes sense. And then you're going to cut a tail. This helps to not show those little white spaces that we can't single crochet in. And now I'm just going to take my hook, insert it on the inside of DoodleBob like that, and I'm going to pull that tail through. A lot of this video is just going to be showing how you pull tails through. I know you can easily cut them, but I'm a little worried about them getting unraveled or somehow, so I just like to pull them through and hide them like that. Finally attach the back side. Now the back side is super easy because there's no need to stop. You just go from corner to corner to corner. It's just 3 sides that you're crocheting into. And yeah, so this is my first side. I'm about to do the second side, and it's the same thing. You're just going to insert your hook into the corners and just continue to single crochet across. That's all. Okay, so now that we have all our pieces assembled, we're just missing the top piece. But before we even think about doing that, we're going to need to use stuffing. So I'm going to show you guys how I like to stuff my plushie. I try to get it as even as possible. You know, I just break it apart in half and I stuff it right in, and I kind of use my hands in this kind of shape. I don't know, it helps a little bit. But you don't want to overstuff, because if you do, he turns out to be like round. He gets into a very round shape if you stuff it too much. So we're just going to gently continue to stuff until you feel that it's even. I like to press my plushies down like that, you know, get it really even to all the edges and whatnot, and I just keep doing that until I feel that it's perfect, okay? Our plushie stuffed, we're going to begin single crocheting around all the edges, starting with the corner and the other corners as well, just as we've been doing. The only thing I will say is do not close off the very end, because you might need to continue to stuff just a little bit more, because I know I had to. So yeah, I'm just going to continue to single crochet, and I will meet you when I'm halfway done, I believe. Okay, so I'm going to show you what the bottom looks like. If you tap it, it looks very nice and firm. There's nothing, it's all even, right? And when we turn around, you can see that it kind of sinks a little bit. You guys see that? There's not enough stuffing there. So before I close, I'm just going to add a little bit more stuffing just to get it even. You know, that's just how I like to do it. You don't have to do it, but okay, so I already closed my edge up, and again I have this little white space here, so I'm just going to cover it up like I showed you guys last time. You're just going to single crochet, and then I'm going to find a random black stitch to work into, the closest one that I can, to get my yarn through, and then I'm going to cut a tail and pull it in, okay? So once all of that is done, I decided that this is going to be my front, and I took some black string just to see what it would look like, you know, just measuring out the front and all that. So I decided this is where it's going to be my front. I'm going to use a stitch marker to mark where the eyes are going to be, just so I don't mix up and accidentally flip the DoodleBob over and I won't know what side my face is going to be. So yeah, I decided to do that, and yeah. So now please bring out your white and black felt fabric. DoodleBob has many faces. You can pick whichever one you want to make, but the one I'm deciding is this one right here, okay? Alright guys, so we're going to start by making the pants, okay? We're going to be single crocheting, surface single crocheting, and if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much just making single crochets on top of other work you already did. So we're going to start by inserting our hook into a black stitch, right? That's where I want my pants to be. So you're going to pull your yarn through and you're going to chain one. Then you're going to turn your work upside down. This makes it so much easier, I promise. And you're just going to insert your hook into the white single crochets. I'm going to do it again. You're just going to insert your your hook into the white stitches, and you're going to start single crocheting, and you're going to insert your hook into the next white stitch, the next one after the one we just did, and we're going to single crochet again. You're pretty much just trying to get a line across. Don't worry if it's not straight or perfect, it's not supposed to be, but yeah, that's pretty much all you're doing. You're just single crocheting, and I will meet you at the end. Okay, so here I'm at the final stitches. I'm going to show you how I finish this off. So pretty much, again, I'm just single crocheting into those white spaces. This is my last one right here. Just gonna go through that, and then all we have to do is just insert our hook into the black stitch right next to the single crochets we made. I'm gonna show you again. I'm gonna just put that yarn over, pull through, and then just single crochet. And now you're just going to cut a tail, pull that through, And now we have 2 tails on each side, well, 1 tail on each side, and you're just going to insert your hook into random spaces and pulling them through like I'm doing here. And then I'm going to do the same exact thing on the other side. You're just pulling through the tails in any random stitch. Don't worry if a little bit of stuffing comes out, you can always fix that later. Okay, so now we're going to start by making the eyes, the details of the face. Okay, and if you notice, DoodleBob has 1 black circle, black circle, and white circle. So we're gonna need 2 big black circles, 2 big white circles, 2 black small circles, and 2 black white circles, okay? So I like to cut my white circles pretty much the same as the black circles, but after we do that, we do have to cut the white circles just a little bit smaller because again, the black circles are going to be acting as an outline, okay? So we just have to refine the big white circles just a little bit so that by the time we place them on top of the black circles, it'll look like an outline, okay? That's what we're aiming for. So as you can see, my black outlines came out a little too thick, so what I'm going to do is just trim around the edges a little bit. This whole thing is just a trial and error kind of thing. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't worry about getting it exactly the same because that's never going to happen. So yeah, you just keep playing around with it until you get your desired sizes. I kind of like this right now, so we're going to move on into the smaller black circles. Okay, so we're just going to cut those up right now. Okay, so I'm going to start on the mouth now, okay? As you can already see, I already have a nice little perfect space right here in my felt fabric sheet to get started. And obviously, I'm just going to be cutting around and then placing it on top of DoodleBob, and I'm going to just keep eyeing it to see if it's too big, too small. So I'm just going to keep refining it until I get a shape that I like. So far, I like this size, but I kind of want to make the mouth a little more curved like it is there. So I'm just going to cut a little, like, thing right there, and he looks happy, so I turned it around to make him look angry, which is kind of the look I want to go for. And that's pretty much the face. And then now you have the teeth. I'm going to just cut a rectangle, and then I'm going to cut 2 small squares, and same thing as the mouth. I'm just going to place them on top of the mouth and see how I feel. Like right now they're too big, obviously, so I'm going to just refine them as I have been doing with all the other pieces. And yeah. So this part right here is completely optional, but if you can see that, there's like a black outline above the teeth. So what I like to do is I like to push the teeth up a little bit and then pinch and turn my work around and just cut that little white space up. And I'm going to do the same exact thing with the other one. You just grab it, push it up, pinch it, flip your work, and then just cut that little white space. And then I move the teeth down a little bit just so that it gives off that outline look as I have right there. So yeah, that's completely optional. Alright, so now this is the messiest part in my opinion. You're just going to remove all the details away and we're going to start gluing. First, I like to glue the big two main circles together first. So we're going to start with the white and you're going to just glue it on top of the black. I like to get the glue around the edges, but it's a little bit hard with these tubes because once you open them, they like to spill a lot. So just be really careful and have like a fabric or something on your desk so that it doesn't get dirty. So yeah, you're just going to glue the white circles down onto the black circles, and then I'm going to do the same exact thing with the smaller circles. So once I have the small white circles glued on top of the small black circles, I like to glue the small black circles on top of the white big circles, okay? I know it's a lot of circles, but that's just how it is for me. And as you can see, I'm trying to place them kind of similar to the picture I'm using so that he has this crazy look. I don't want the small circles to look even or anything. I'm gonna put this one more up, like, I don't know, let me see. Yeah, like I'm gonna place it more up just to give him that crazy look. Alright, so then you're gonna do the same exact process with the nose. We're just gluing the small circle on top of the black circle, which is super easy because it's just two circles we have to worry about. Now we have the mouth. I think here I don't glue the mouth yet. I think I start to glue the eyes and the nose on top of the actual plushie. So yeah, so I'm going to start gluing the big black circle, right, on top of the plushie. Okay, we're not worried about the mouth yet. We're gonna do the eyes and the nose first. I like to do this. You don't have to do it in this order, but that's just the way I like to do it. Okay, so after I give my eyes and nose 3 to 5 minutes to set, I'm going to start doing the mouth. And as you can see, I put the teeth a little more far apart than I had before. I don't know, I just adjusted it a little bit. So now we're just going to glue the teeth on top of the mouth, okay? Once we have the teeth on top of the black piece, which is the mouth, we're going to then glue the mouth onto the plushie, okay? So that's what I'm doing here. So now that the mouth is going to be setting, right, I'm going to take the time to actually make the little bow tie. And this part is super easy. With black felt fabric sheet, you're gonna get a corner, and then you're just gonna cut 2 lines, okay? You're gonna cut one right here, and then one right here. You're just making a rhombus shape pretty much. And again, you're just eyeing it, placing it on the plushie. That's too big, that's too small, whatever size you want. I ended up having something like this. I pretty much repeated the same steps with the white sheet. I just cut 2 lines, made a rhombus, and then shaped it so that it would fit the black rhombus. And again, we're just going to glue the white on top of the black, and then we're going to glue the black on top of the plushie, okay? Okay, so this part right here is going to be completely optional. I'm going to make the eyelashes, okay? Not everybody might be making the same face, so don't worry. And pretty much I'm just cutting a rectangle with the black felt fabric, and I'm going to cut it a little bit thinner. And all you're doing is just cutting 6 little pieces like I'm doing here, okay? So once I placed it down on the plushie, I realized they were way too big and too thick, long and thick. So I'm going to refine them just a little bit, and I'm not gonna lie, this was the most tedious part of gluing, okay? The eyelashes were really, really hard, and I'm just gonna do the same thing to the other eyelashes. I cut them up, and now that looks way better. And then I just like to place them around, see where I like them best, and now I'm just going to glue them, okay? So now that we're finally done gluing all the pieces and giving it time to set, I'm going to use a black Sharpie to get his little freckles. This part is completely optional, you don't have to do it, but I feel like he's incomplete, and all I'm doing is just jamming the Sharpie softly and then just twisting it. I'm just twisting it left and right so that it gets a little more defined. The longer you do it, the more defined the freckles will be. And again, you can place these anywhere. Don't be afraid about ruining the project, because that's not going to happen. I even put some on the side right here as well. And yeah, and then with the Sharpie, I also liked to refine it very carefully. Some of the pieces that had glue sticking out, so with the Sharpie I just gently, very carefully went around, just coloring those spots in. It's not gonna cover it completely, but it does hide it a little bit, so that's really cool. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but that's just what I did. So this part here is completely optional. As you can tell, I'm not even going by the picture anymore. I'm going to cut some eyebrows. I don't know what it is, but DoodleBob is not complete without his angry eyebrows, in my opinion. Even in the picture, he doesn't have any, but I just cut two little slits of black. It doesn't matter the shape or size, because again, he's just a little cartoon character. You don't have to make it perfect. And I just refined it to the sizes that I liked, just as long as they're bushy looking. I don't know, they have to be bushy looking. So again, I'm just going to glue down. I don't care if it covers the eyelashes, you know, it doesn't matter to me, but I think it looks great. I like it like this, but yeah. Okay, so now that all the pieces are done, we're going to start by making the legs. We're going to make two of these guys, okay? I'm going to show you how to make the first one. We're going to use black yarn, and remember, two of these guys. So what you want to do is make a slip knot with a really long tail. Okay, it doesn't have to be extremely long or anything, just long enough that you know you can pull through the project, okay? Then we're going to slip knot, and we're going to chain, how many do we chain? Hold on, I can't see the text yet. Chain 11. Okay, so we're going to be chaining 11. Then I want you guys to make 2 double crochets. We're going to make 2 double crochets, so that's 1. That's 2 right there. Then we're going to make 1 half double crochet, okay? So that's 1 half double crochet right there. Then we're going to make 1 single crochet, okay? And then the rest, you should have 6 slip stitches, okay? At the very end, you should be having 6 slip stitches. Once you get to the end, you're just going to cut a tail. It doesn't have to be as long as the other one. Okay, so now that we have both our legs, we're going to tie a knot twice just to secure it. You don't have to do it twice, but I just like to do it. And you're going to do that with both legs. Just tie a knot twice. Then we're going to place our legs wherever you want them. Doesn't have to be the same as I do it, but I like mine to be like right there. So I'm going to insert my hook, right? And I'm going to pull in my longer tail. Put in your long tail first, just like I'm doing. And then you're going to tie a knot to secure. Next, you're going to grab your hook, place it anywhere, and just pull both tails in, and that's it. That's literally how you get the legs on. You just tie a knot and then pull both tails in, and it's okay if a bit of stuffing comes out. That's what happened to me. And you just use the back of your hook, like I'm doing right here, just to put that stuffing back in, okay? And you're going to repeat the same exact steps for the other leg. You're just going to pull the long tail in, tie a knot, and pull both tails through. Okay, so now we're going to start with the hands. Okay, we're going to have the white yarn and we're going to make a slip knot. Then we're going to chain 4. Okay, once you have your chain 4, we're going to single crochet 3 like normal, but then we're going to add one more single crochet right where the slip knot is. I don't know if you guys can see that, but we're going to do one more single crochet right into the slip knot space. Okay, after that we're going to chain 5. I think you guys are starting to see what I'm going to do, okay? And we're going to single crochet 4. Once you have your 4, you're going to again make one more single crochet in that middle space, like right between the ones we just made, and then we're going to chain 4, and then we're going to make 3 single crochets. Okay, so now that we have that, we're just going to cut a tail and pull it through, and then because we don't have anywhere to pull the tails through, we're just going to cut them as close as possible without damaging it or making sure that it doesn't unravel. So I like to tie mine into a knot, and then I just cut them up as close as I can. And remember, so now we're going to be using black yarn, and we're just simply going to single crochet all around the white like that. See, we're just going to insert our hook into a random stitch, doesn't matter where. Going to pull your yarn through, and you're going to chain 1, and then all I want you to do is just single crochet around that perimeter. Okay, I will meet you back. Okay, so this is what you should be having, and I'm just going to simply slip stitch into the first stitch that I made. The first single crochet I made, I'm going to slip stitch there, and then I'm going to just cut a yarn, pull that tail through, and then I'm just going to insert my hook into a stitch close to the tail, and I'm going to pull it through the back side. Okay, so I'm just doing that, pulling it through, and then I'm just going to tie a knot with these 2 strings here. I don't know if I did it once or twice, but you just want to make sure it's secured. And then I just, again, same as the white tails, I'm going to cut them up as close as I possibly can without damaging or making sure it doesn't unravel. Okay, and then there's your hand, and you're going to make 2 of these guys. Okay, just repeat the same steps for your second. Now we're going to begin our arms, and I like mine to align a little bit above the pant leg. You see, I'm just using the line for the pants as like a measurement, and I like mine to be here. So we're just going to pull our black yarn through, okay, and then we're going to chain 18. Okay, once you have your 18 stitches, you're just going to insert your hook into a random stitch of the hand, a random black stitch. Okay, I like to put mine here, and then I'm just going to pull up a loop, and I'm going to single crochet or slip stitch, depending which one's easier for you. And then I'm just going to simply cut a tail, right, pull that tail through, and then I think here I just tighten it a little bit, and yeah, that's kind of the measurement I like. Now here I'm just pulling in that first tail through. Okay, I'm just going to put it into a random stitch and then just pull my tail through, and then the tail from the hand, I'm simply just going to cut it like I did with the white tails. And then you're just going to repeat the same exact steps for the other hand. You're going to insert your hook, chain 18, and then single crochet it into your hand. Okay, my gosh, okay, we are finally done. See, I like his arms like this. I will be making a tutorial for the pencil very soon, so don't worry about that. And yeah, I hope you guys liked it. Please comment, let me know how I did. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys back in the next tutorial, okay? Bye!